Right, but now they have like amazing flavors and stuff. So thank you, Anchor Bar.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so that was Kurt Busch. Thank you.
That was.
Thank you, Kurt Busch. Thanks, Obama.
Hard to keep up.
A couple more in the fun segment. Hannah Storm. Did you see her before the Packer game? The complete stiff arm of the makeup artist coming back from break. And whose fault was this? Where's the director? Where's the producer counting down the whole time thing?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, then apparently Hannah Storm says she would have gotten in major trouble had she been seen on air, the makeup artist. So does no one know that they're about to go live? This is kind of a big deal. I mean, I know it's your job and you get bored of your job on a daily basis. It's kind of a big deal.
Or do you think this is a rogue makeup artist who just wanted some camera time?
Your blush looks like crap.
No, it's like, I don't know my makeup, but what's the pencil thing called?
A pencil?
Eyeliner?
Oh, yeah, that eyeliner, lip liner.
She just run there like trying to stay off Hannah Storm in the eyes like, I'm getting on TV. And then, maybe that's why Hannah Storm looked so pissed when she pushed her away.
Maybe so. Or maybe Hannah Storm just kind of freaked out for a second. Was like, oh, my God, you got to go. Boom.
No, it wasn't even like the, oh, my goodness. It was like the pits of Hades in Hannah Storm's beautiful brown eyes. No, but it looked like sheer hatred with like the Heisman push.
I think you're being a little bit over dramatic with the hatred.
Oh, she looked pissed. She
looked angry, but hatred, I think, is a bit much. But whatever. Each their own.
I actually should have made it fun and lighthearted.
Well, it was like one of those instantaneous things. I get deer in the headlights all the time. I totally feel what Hannah Storm, how she reacted could happen.
Speaking of reacted, after Duke's loss at home versus the U, it's all about the U, a chick was caught screen capped crying after the game, filmed by the ESPN cameras and then screen capped by the website. What's the website here? I have so many links in these notes that sometimes it gums things up.
It gets to be a bit complicated, but thank you for doing that for me because I'm slow.
Hey, it helps me too because, I don't know, it just helps me. So clicking, the website was The Cauldron, which is a sports website, I guess. So they grabbed the screen cap, tweeted out, the struggle is real, and then the word was that the rep from the girl contacted the site trying to get the photo removed. Turns out it was just a friend of the girl DM'd or texted the author of the post trying to get the photo removed. That's not really how the internet works.
Nah, that just makes it more popular. You can't ask for them to take it back.
Yeah, and apparently the friend wasn't acting on her behalf. He was just acting as a concerned friend who, by the way, this dude is totally in the friend zone. He ain't all up in that.
He ain't never getting none of that.
Well, definitely not now because it just made it worse. If the friend never said anything, it should just be like a one little 30-second heh on the internet. But now it kind of turned into a sign of a thing because it's like if you have a bad nickname, if people know that you hate the nickname, they're just going to call you more.
Right. If your nickname is Stinky, and that you're, oh, God, stop. No, people are you're Stinky for life now.
And the picture it doesn't even look like she's crying. She just looked very sad that her team just lost by 19 at home against
She's a very pretty girl. She'll probably get a modeling contract out of this. I mean, get over yourself. Enjoy your moment.
Speaking of someone who did not enjoy the moment, with Seattle and Green Bay ready to strap it on yet again at Quest or CenturyLink or wherever the hell they call it nowadays.
The Clink.
It is the rematch of the Fail Mary game, which I've had to turn off ESPN because, do you guys know it's a rematch of the Fail Mary game? Yeah. Even though they played earlier in the season at Seattle, but whatever. Right. But the news came out is that the referee from that game, one of the ones that called that erroneous touchdown, although I call it, as a Vikings fan, the very quality, accurate touchdown assessment. Lance Easley has been in the news recently saying that he's been battling PTSD and severe depression ever since that. He's been receiving death threats, general nastiness, friends and family as well, his wife, his child, and has had to leave his job at a bank But since it's been the news, been getting words of support because people are terrible overall.
Yep, they sure are.
It is just a game. And these replacement refs at the time were just doing the best they can in a really crappy situation because the NFL referee union and the NFL were at odds, having beef, and these guys were just scabs just trying to help out.
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about, guys who, are in that situation, like, I'm not bringing it back to Houston too much, and I'm sorry, but like Matt Schaub, whenever he started sucking really bad, people would go to his house and burn his jersey and just those horrible things. And you hope that these guys have a strong mental fortitude, but it's got to affect you on some level unless you're able to isolate yourself from it completely. And it doesn't sound like you are if you're out in public ever in life. People are just jerks. And unfortunately, if you make a mistake publicly and it has an effect on something a lot of people care about, they're going to be really jerky to you, unfortunately. Poor guy.
I was thinking about this. I love the NFL, but I don't love all the fans necessarily all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I understand the passion. I respect the love and passion for your team and the game, but if you are in a foul mood like 3 days afterwards because your team lost a game, that's a little much.
Yeah.
In my book. Or if you're typing on message boards or sending out tweets or emails or Facebook messages of nastiness to the athletes, the referees, the coaches, the owners, people involved, that you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself because you're damaged. You need to check yourself there.
Right. I mean, can you imagine those people in normal life, like a spouse or children? How miserable must that be for their quote-unquote loved ones? I don't know. I just think about the whole picture. Society's just jacked up, man.
Because sometimes it's humorous, like the whole hashtag thanks Obama.
Right.
Yeah, it's tongue-in-cheek, not meant to be serious. But if you're sending like actual death threats to a player, or if you're wishing an uncurable disease upon that athlete or his family members, you need to like just go away. Go out into the desert without any water and just take a nap.
Forever.
Go on walkabout.
There you go.
There you go. All right, so 3 segments in the books. We'll come back for one more short one. Claire and I will pick our Super Bowl matchup. It's not going to be what you think.
Oh.
It's not going to be what you think. Or it might be. Who knows? We'll be right back. Claire-vs-Carlson Show. The Purple for the Win podcast is your one-stop shop for the team you hate that you love. That's right, dedicated to the pain and pleasure that is the Minnesota Vikings. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube for our weekly and bi-weekly mediocrity. And, of course, there's always purpleftw.com. Because, aside from nipple clamps and chains and whips, cheering for the Purple People Eaters is probably the most pleasurable pain you can experience on this planet. So come on in. For the mediocre analysis and the more mediocre humor, purpleftw.com. That's right, purpleftw.com.
Straight cash, homie.
And we are back for the 4th and final segment of this week's Claire-vs-Carlson Show. And speaking of 4, there's only 4 shows left, Claire. This is the 4th to last show of your face all up in here.
Oh, but no one sees my face. Lucky for them.
Or you'd be like Hannah Storm, the makeup artist, just coming in and you're like,
Yeah.
Get off the camera.
That would be me.
Get off the camera. Something that is going to be on camera. This Sunday, championship weekend, we have the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers and his calf. That was air quotes. Up in Seattle for the early game. Indianapolis at New England for the late game. I'm excited. I'm going to watch these.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not last weekend, but it'll be a good weekend.
And I know that everyone and their mother has Green Bay as huge underdogs, and I think they're going to lose by 40.
Why now? Explain yourself.
It's a little bit of the hatred for the Packers, but also remember what happened last time early in the season when Seattle's defense, and they are getting healthy at the right time, basically shut down half the field because Rodgers refused to throw at Sherman, and they basically just trotted out, what's his name, Jared Boykin out there. And then
do you really think they're going to make that same? They're going to do the same thing again?
I think they're going to try
take away half the field.
I think they're going to try and make Green Bay one-dimensional. And
they're going to
with
try.
Aaron Rodgers, the reports say that his calf is worse than last week, even though he looked pretty damn good in the second half after he got shot up with
10
a bunch
for
of
10 and 2 touchdowns.
That ankle or that calf was feeling no pain in the second half, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Well, if he can do that again, then they also have Eddie Lacy. Am I crazy in saying that? That
yes.
They have a running game?
Yes, and James Starks. Yes. I'm aware of such things.
I mean, it's not like they've had to rely on them terribly much, but they can carry the load. I don't know. I just don't see it as such a runaway game.
Yeah, I'm in jest. I don't think Seattle's going to win by 40. I do think they win 27-17, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, what's your final score?
I'll probably be maybe a little bit closer than that, but, low 20s, 24-20 or something. But I think that, the passing game is probably going to be affected, sure. I think that the Packers will still be able to score, and I don't know that they're going to be able to shut down the different looks that Seattle offers on offense. So I think it'll be close, but I don't think that it'll be a runaway.
Now, this is actually a noon start in Seattle. This is the earliest game that they've ever had in Seattle. That's pretty nuts.
That is pretty nuts.
Do you think that'll have any effect at all?
Nah, I don't think so.
Do you think the whole time zone, time difference thing is overblown for these players?
Well, I think it's overblown if every game is on Sunday. But if you have a Thursday game and then you play an early game out of your time zone on, if you have a Monday game and you play, or a Sunday game and play Thursday or whatever. I'm just saying, if you get a reduction in time, then I think it makes a difference.
Yep. And Seattle, Russell Wilson, the anointed one, I think he does get to his second consecutive Super Bowl, won it last year. Oh my
Sorry,
God,
I'm puking.
what was that?
Puking.
I'm leaving that in.
Leave it in. I'm
are
puking.
Are you actually puking?
No.
No. It just sounded like a wet fart.
Oh, it was like, tried to mute my retching, but apparently it came out sounding like a wet fart. So, nice.
Speaking of wet farts, Russell Wilson will not put one up in this NFC title game. I think Marshawn Lynch is going to get the bulk of the work, and I think they're going to run roughshod, control the clock, and I think those is good done again. And it's interesting coming up this offseason with Russell Wilson because he's going to get paid. And they end up winning a second consecutive Super Bowl.
Oh, God, yes.
There's no way that he's not going to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL just because he's up next,
It's his time. I mean, if he has the leadership qualities necessary to provide that component that a team needs to get them there, then, you got to pay the man.
As great as he is, I still have some questions because I believe he's perfect. He's absolutely perfect for the situation in Seattle. Heavy running the game, he has to make a couple throws a game and has a great defense to lean on. But eventually those pieces on defense are going to get older or too expensive and they'll move on. So there's no guarantee that's always going to be there. Lynch, this might be his last year in Seattle as well. So can Russell Wilson be the type of quarterback who has to throw it 35, 40 times a game, who has to lead a 2-minute drive, who has to win a shootout? I don't know if he can do that because he hasn't had to necessarily so far in his career. And if I'm going to give my quarterback $20, $25 million a year, I need to know that he is capable of that.
Well, yeah, but the leadership will believe that they're going to be capable of replacing the pieces on defense. And so as long as he's in Seattle, I think that they're going to see the value in him. At the same time, maybe additionally, I should say, Seattle, if you look at Russell Wilson on the open market,